Washington, D.C., what was meant to be a routine international security forum spiraled into one of the most talked-about confrontations in recent memory. Senator J.D. Vance, Republican firebrand and vice presidential candidate, found himself face-to-face with Burkina Faso's young interim leader, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, in a debate that electrified and divided audiences worldwide. The two men could not be more different. Vance, representing a populist strain of American conservatism, has built his reputation on defending Middle America and warning against foreign entanglements. Traoré, the 36-year-old military officer who seized power in Burkina Faso, has emerged as a defiant voice against Western influence in Africa, rallying Pan-African pride and railing against neocolonialism. The confrontation erupted when a moderator asked about US involvement in Africa. "America must stop wasting blood and treasure in places that don't serve our people," Vance declared, to applause from his supporters. "We've spent decades policing the world, and what has it given us? Broken borders at home, broken families, broken promises." Traoré shot back with a steely glare. "The problem, Senator, is that America and its allies have never been in Africa to help. You come for our resources, you come with your soldiers, and when our people resist, you call us unstable. But it is your interference that destabilizes us." Gasps rippled through the hall. Vance leaned forward, his voice rising. "With all due respect, Captain, America doesn't owe your country anything. We are not the world's babysitter. You want independence? Then stand on your own 2 feet. Don't demand aid. Don't demand handouts. And don't blame us when your leaders fail your people." The room fell silent before Traoré fired back with words that trended online within minutes. "We don't want your aid. We want your boots off our soil. We want our gold, our uranium, our future, not for America, not for France, but for Africa. Your empire is crumbling because you cannot imagine a world where others rise." The exchange went viral almost instantly. Clips flooded TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. Commentators on American cable news framed Vance as a truth-teller, willing to stand up against global freeloading. Meanwhile, across much of Africa and parts of Europe, Traoré was hailed as a revolutionary voice who had spoken truth to American arrogance. Within hours, hashtags like #VanceOfStraoré, Zinhal, Hands Off Africa, and #AmericaFirst trended worldwide. Political analysts warned the fallout could reshape international discourse. Some see it as a defining moment for Vance's campaign, solidifying his nationalist message. Others argue it exposed America's growing tensions with the global South, embodied in the fiery defiance of Ibrahim Traoré. One thing is clear: the world watched two men from vastly different worlds collide, and neither left the stage unchanged. Would you like me to expand this into a longer debate transcript-style story with back-and-forth dialogue, crowd reactions, and media spin? Or keep it as a punchy news article summary like above? You said, "Long story," ChatGPT said. "Perfect. Here's a long-form fictionalized story, written like a mix of debate transcript, live reactions, and media aftermath. J.D. Vance versus Ibrahim Traoré, the explosive exchange that left America stunned." Washington, D.C., the Global Security Forum was supposed to be predictable. Policy speeches, cautious diplomacy, and the usual carefully scripted exchanges. Instead, it turned into a political thunderclap when U.S. Senator J.D. Vance, the Republican vice-presidential nominee, clashed directly with Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the fiery interim president of Burkina Faso. What unfolded was less a debate than a collision of worldviews, a verbal battle that ricocheted far beyond the forum's walls. The spark the confrontation began with a simple question from the moderator: what role should America play in Africa's future? J.D. Vance, seated confidently in a Navy suit, didn't hesitate. "America's role is to look after America first," he said, his voice carrying across the hall. "For too long, we've poured billions into foreign wars, foreign aid, and foreign adventures, while our own people suffer. Africa doesn't need another lecture from Washington, and we don't need another drain on our resources." A smattering of applause rose from the American delegation. Cameras shifted to Traoré, sitting in his military fatigues, unflinching. Traoré's retort, the Burkinabe leader leaned forward, speaking slowly but firmly. Senator Vance, with all respect, America has never come to Africa for charity. You come for uranium, for gold, for oil. You come with soldiers and bases, and then you say, you are tired of us. No, it is Africa that is tired of America. The audience gasped. A French delegate whispered audibly, Mon Dieu. The clash intensifies, Vance shot back. Let's be honest here. If America pulled out tomorrow, every soldier, every dollar, chaos would follow. You'd call us imperialists if we stay and abandoners if we leave. But at the end of the day, it's not our job to fix Africa. It's your job. Traoré didn't flinch. His eyes locked on Vance, his voice rising. What you call fixing, Senator, is what we call theft. You destabilize governments that refuse your terms. You exploit resources while our people remain poor. And when we demand dignity, you call us radicals. No, the chaos was born from your interference. The crowd erupted in murmurs. Some delegates clapped, others looked stunned. The moment that went viral, Vance, visibly irritated, leaned across the table. And stand on your own 2 feet. Stop asking for aid. Stop asking for loans. Stop blaming America every time something goes wrong in your countries. For a second, silence hung in the air. Then Traoré delivered the line that would dominate social media feeds for days. We do not ask for your aid. We ask for your boots off our soil. We ask for our resources back. And we ask for America to accept that it is no longer the master of the world. The room erupted, half in applause, half in shock. Cameras caught Vance's jaw tighten. Reactions in real time, American conservative pundits immediately hailed Vance as a straight shooter who refused to coddle what they called foreign dependency. African media outlets blasted the clips with headlines. Like Traoré schools America's senator in Africa speaks back to the empire. On TikTok, the line "boots off our soil" turned into a viral sound used in thousands of edits. The aftermath by evening, cable news was ablaze. On Fox News, commentators praised Vance for standing tall against anti-American rhetoric. On Al Jazeera, analysts celebrated Traoré for breaking the silence of decades of Western dominance. CNN played the clip of Traoré's final words on loop, noting the audible discomfort in the American delegation. In Burkina Faso's capital, Ouagadougou, young crowds marched through the streets chanting "Hands off Africa," while waving both Burkinabe and Pan-African flags. Meanwhile, in Ohio, Vance supporters cheered the senator at a rally, holding signs reading "America first, Africa last." A clash of generations and visions. Commentators around the globe were quick to point out the symbolism. J.D. Vance, a rising American populist, arguing for withdrawal and nationalism, echoing a weary superpower turning inward. Ibrahim Traoré, a young African revolutionary, railing against neocolonialism and asserting Africa's right to self-determination. Men from opposite worlds, each embodying the anger and aspirations of their people, colliding in a moment that neither had planned, but that history might remember. The last word as the forum ended, reporters shouted questions. Vance brushed them off, declaring only, "I stand by every word. America doesn't need to apologize for putting its own people first." Minutes later, Traoré, surrounded by cheering African delegates, offered his own closing shot. "The age of empire is ending. Let America hear us. Africa will not kneel." And with that, the most unlikely showdown of the year cemented itself into political folklore, a fiery exchange that left America stunned and the world divided. Do you want me to make this even more novel-like, with descriptions of body language, crowd tension, and behind-the-scenes whispers, almost like a political thriller chapter?